Governor Newsom in D.C. right now lobbying for Trump-proof protections on his policies he set forth in our state before Inauguration Day. Thanks for joining us here at 6. I'm Tony Lopez.
And I'm Marley Ginter. In tonight's Politics at Large, Steve is live at the state capitol for us following the governor's policy, the moves, and whether this is all the launch of his own presidential campaign. Steve?
And as we know, Governor Newsom campaigned hard for a Biden and Harris win, but it's the Trump victory that's giving Newsom's political future new life. And Governor Newsom just released a video tonight showing his day in D.C. so far.
Just left the White House, met with senior officials, met with the president himself, talking about everything we need to do to prepare for this transition.
Governor Gavin Newsom releasing this video in Washington, D.C., preparing to fight President-elect Donald Trump's policies on day one.
FEMA funding was a great day at the White House.
The governor's office also released a statement reading in part, the governor advocated for the approval of disaster relief funding, programs to expand health care access, and initiatives to improve clean air.
How quickly do you think we'll see lawsuits filed by Democratic governors and Gavin Newsom?
January 22nd, 2025.
The day after the inauguration?
The day after the inauguration.
Congressman John Garamendi, who represents the 3rd District, will meet Newsom Wednesday as part of the California congressional delegation.
Do you see this as the beginning of campaign 2028 for Gavin Newsom?
Oh, yeah. The campaign for the next presidential election began the day that Trump won this presidential election.
I think it's a desperate attempt to remain relevant.
Republican strategist Tab Berg says the Trump victory shows American voters are not inclined to support Gavin Newsom's political views.
For Newsom to see this as any kind of an opportunity as opposed to a repudiation of him, I believe is delusional.
Newsom is in Washington, D.C., seeking the Biden administration's help for federal protections ahead of the Trump transition. He's also called a state legislative special session next month to prepare for litigation against Trump policies on issues including reproductive freedom, clean vehicle policies, immigrant protections, and disaster response.
I'm going through it right now.
State Senator Henry Stern represents the Ventura County area burned in this month's mountain fire. He says he's confident Newsom and Trump can work through their political differences so California receives federal relief following wildfires.
To make sure that, Republicans and Democrats whose houses burned down could somehow rebuild their lives.
Donald Trump and Gavin Newsom, a split screen on policy and politics.
So just left the White House.
Will their divide also fuel Newsom's political future?
And Governor Newsom has said that he does not plan on taking on Trump policies alone. In fact, he says that he's working with other Democratic governors across the country to form what he describes as alliances.
And Steve, let me throw this at you. Many people, including within the Democratic Party, feel their party needs to pivot in light of the results. I wonder if Newsom is going to pivot at all over the next few years as he gets closer to a run for the White House.
Well, I think that that's something that a lot of people will be watching very closely. How much does his rhetoric and do his policies change and move towards the center? That might be a sign of just how seriously he is considering a presidential run, which up to this point he said he has sub-zero interest in.